Hey, welcome back, and thanks so much for joining us. Will Meyer, the movie guy, is here. We're talking about the top movies in the box office. And this first one, The Disaster Artist, is funny because it is supposed to be a good movie about a bad movie.
That's correct, yeah. So this is a comedy starring Dave Franco, James Franco, Seth Rogen, about the making of one of the worst movies ever made, a 2003 film called The Room. It's a movie that was written and directed by a guy named Tommy Wiseau. He also starred in it too. And he sunk $6 million of his own money into this movie. He wanted to make a great drama, but it wasn't well received, and not many people saw it until years later it became a cult phenomenon. And today, Daniel, 14 years later, you can still see screenings of The Room all around the country.
Why?
And so, just because it's so uniquely bad that it's actually really entertaining. Like, you know, you watch bad movies sometimes, you get the joke within 10 minutes and you turn it off. That's not the case with this movie. It really is just compelling and entertaining throughout. It's a movie too, though, that there was a lot of passion that went into making this movie, and this movie really celebrates that. You know, this guy Tommy does some crazy stuff, but even though he wanted to make a drama and people ended up laughing at it, it still brought people a lot of entertainment. And you know, at the end of the day, I think it celebrates this guy just chased down his dream. But at the same time, this movie also pokes a lot of fun at this guy because he's so strange and unintentionally funny. His mannerisms, the way he speaks, his decision making. Like, I mean, making The Room, I mean, he shot it on 2 cameras, 35 millimeter, and also using an HD camera that makes no sense side by side at the same time. He also, you know, he built elaborate sets of rooftops and alleyways when he actually had rooftops and alleyways outside that he could use. He demanded on being naked at different points throughout the film because he thought that would help sell the film. So it's just, whether you're a fan of The Room or not, I think you're going to get a lot of joy and laughter out of that. I love the book so much that this is based on, and so I'm a little too close to it, maybe a little too critical. I think the book is more dark, interesting, complex. This is just light, sweet, silly entertainment. James Franco is great in the movie, though. I give it high marks. I'd say 3 out of 4 stars.
3 out of 4? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you need to watch the original before you watch that?
I don't think so. I think it's better if you do, because The Room is wonderful and you should share it with everyone, but you don't have to see it.
Okay. Next up is Thelma.
Thelma, this is a Norwegian thriller. It's nominated for Best Foreign Language Film at the Critics' Choice Awards and a lot of other award ceremonies. It's about a young woman who has a strict upbringing, but she goes away to college, she falls in love, she starts to rebel, and when she does that, supernatural things start to happen. This is a movie that is interesting because it's formal in its style. It's sort of a clean-cut, prestigious art house drama. One that's thematically rich too. It's about a woman trying to gain her independence, and also it shows how religious zealotry can inform that experience. But this is also just a sort of fun, really dark, supernatural thriller. One that grabbed me from the first scene. I was really tired when I started to watch this movie, but that first scene just opens with a bang, and this movie had me until the very end. And what I like about it, it activates your brain as well as your pulse, and you can come up with your own interpretation as to what it means. You can take all of this literally, as that this supernatural stuff is happening, or you can say it's a metaphor for transitioning from childhood to adulthood, becoming a new person, and that being very scary and exciting. So I think this movie is a lot of fun, and it's really interesting too. I'd say 3.5 out of 4.
You like that movie? 3.5 out of 4 stars and 3. So if there's anything to take away from this, it's go hit the box office.
That's right. It's good stuff out there this weekend.
One more that you're not going to rate because it might just be too much of a classic for us to rate.
If I rate this one, yeah, it'd be 5 out of 4 stars because it's so wonderful.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah,
it is wonderful.
Yes, exactly. This movie, I wanted to talk about this because it's showing today at the Tennessee Theater at 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. It's free and open to the public. This is, of course, the 1946 Frank Capra film starring Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed about a man who's frustrated. He's at the end of his rope, so he says, and an angel comes down to show him what his life would be like if he never existed. This is a classic Christmas film. People watch it every year, but I like to watch this film any time of year because it's such a great pick-me-up. The American Film Institute rated it as the most inspirational film of all time. I usually disagree with those lists, but I have to agree with that because anytime I'm feeling down, really this movie just does the trick. It reminds you that, you know, no one's a failure who has friends, that, you know, our lives touch other people's, I think, a lot more than we'd think. And so I just think it's a wonderful movie. I think you should take your family to see it if they haven't seen it. So I'm going to try and get there to one of the screenings today. So 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. at the Tennessee Theater.
And the Tennessee Theater was literally built for that. So
yeah,
great
exactly.
opportunity to go watch it. Yeah. And we can check out your Facebook page for even more reviews, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, facebook.com/Will Meyer, the movie guy. Find some other good stuff there.
All right, Will, thank you so much for joining us. Still not sure why you keep that weird guy on the top of your page, but hey, thanks so much for coming in.
Absolutely.